Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Love Island reaction show.
Oh no.
Oh,
what have I signed up for?
Oh, wait, I mean Radioactive Screen.
Oh,
That other one that I'm doing.
don't do that to me, Josh. When is your Love Island reaction show coming out?
It is not. I didn't think I'd actually have to.
You
I
got
mean, I'm going to
prepared for
have
these
to do
things.
it now, aren't I?
I actually got told off the other day for bashing Love Island on the podcast. So to all of our fans who listen to the podcast and watch Love Island, Carl, let me formally say that I stand by all of my statements about Love Island and the fact that it gives you diseases by just watching it through your television set.
I mean, I really don't blame you for sticking by your decision. So I was watching it last night and I was at the point where I was like, why am I still watching this show? I hate everyone on it, except Danny. Danny's a nice guy.
I have no idea who Danny is. Is it Zuko? Is it DeVito? Please tell me it's DeVito.
No, it's Danny Dyer. His daughter was in it last year, so he's decided to go in.
I like how Danny Dyer's kind of become like a weird champion of the people with his massive Brexit rants. Did you see all that sort of stuff? It was a couple of years ago, I think, but he was on some sort of political show. It wasn't Question Time, but I think he has been on Question Time. But he went off on a massive tangent about Brexit and David Cameron and called David Cameron a twat live on air. It was fantastic. It's great viewing.
Danny Dyer, of all people.
Danny Dyer is now a people's champion. That's the dire straits of our country.
Wow. Yep.
So welcome to the Radioactive Podcast Debate channel. Politics. Yay.
Yay.
That went wrong.
Right, so I'll save the Love Island stuff for the other podcast.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah.
And then just make sure that you're a couple of feet away from me at all times because I don't want to catch whatever it is.
Diseases.
Diseases.
Yeah, I hate that show.
Yeah. So welcome to the Radioactive Screen Podcast.
Yep.
Where we talk about all things movies, films, televisions, all of that great stuff that you all need in your lives. I'm Sam. My co-host Josh is with me. Brought that back.
Ah, you bitch.
Last time. Let's just call it a truce. We're both hosts.
Okay.
I mean, you're host to many more diseases because you watch Love Island, but but yeah. So
it is a terrible show. It's complete trash, and I don't know why I watch it, but I have no morals apparently, so I'll give it a watch.
is it because you're whipped?
No, I could just go on my laptop while she's watching it,
But
but
she doesn't let you. Blink once if you're in trouble, Josh. Blink twice. You're okay.
okay. So should we just get straight into it? Yeah.
That says all it needs to. Yeah, let's go straight into it with the kind of limited movie news that we've got this week. I guess.
It's been all about E3 this week, to be honest, and there were no good announcements apart from Keanu Reeves. In
Keanu Reeves.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Stealing the show when he showed up on
Yeah.
stage, calling everyone breathtaking whilst being extremely breathtaking himself. What a nice guy. I love Keanu. You're all breathtaking.
Ah, he's so nice. He's dreamy.
He is a dreamboat.
I wish he could just tuck me into bed at night and just
Because you know you're going to be safe.
sing me
He's
lullabies.
going to tuck you into bed and he's going to stand at the end of your bed watching the door to make sure nobody intrudes. That's what Keanu's going to do for you.
Yep.
And the thing is about Keanu is that he could do that to everybody in the world at the same time. He's that majestic and powerful.
Is he like Santa?
Better.
Oh my god, yeah.
Keanu Reeves is better than Santa
Yep.
Claus.
He doesn't just come once a year.
I'm judging you for that joke.
Yeah,
We don't talk about Keanu in those terms.
He is not the dirty bastard.
Ah,
Uh,
great.
while we're talking about Keanu Reeves, I saw it was a behind the scenes video from Toy Story 4,
Oh, yeah.
and it was him in the recording booth, and he's saying all his lines and stuff, but he's getting like really into the actions of the character, and
All of the... yeah.
it just looks so good, honestly. I cannot wait for Toy Story 4.
It's out at the time of recording. It's out this coming Friday, so we'll probably go see that, won't we? And give it a little old review.
So in a week or two, our
I've only ever actually
podcast review
seen
will be up.
Toy Story 3 the one time, to be fair. And that was at the cinema with my... Jesus Christ, that was a long time ago. Pretty sure I went to see that with my first girlfriend.
It's 2010.
Yeah, it will have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. 9 years in between. Also, you guys can't see this right now, but we have somehow managed to mentally sync together because we are both wearing Toy Story t-shirts.
Yep. And I'm also wearing Toy Story trainers.
Yeah. And we didn't actually plan that,
Yeah.
but I think it's our connection. It's our special connection
It
that
is,
made us
yeah.
plan it, yeah. Although my t-shirt is better, let's face it.
I mean,
You just got aliens coming out of your pocket,
Oh no,
and
you've
it
not
says
seen
Pizza
that.
Planet. The Chosen. That's good. That's good.
Chosen
But,
one.
like my T-shirt it's the Jurassic Park scene with Sam Neill and the T-Rex, except the T-Rex has been replaced by Rex, and Sam Neill has been replaced by Woody, and it's excellent. It's good. Yeah.
It's good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I won't go for a green t-shirt myself, but you know.
Well, I'm bold enough to pull it off. All right, Josh.
All right.
You don't judge my fashion sense.
It's too colourful for me.
I only wear black or very, very dark grey. So what is there anything else about E3 regarding movie news? There was the
we're getting a
Netflix.
Division film on Netflix.
Yeah. Can't say I'm actually that bothered about it. I've never played any of the Division games, but they're quite popular, so I think there'll be people out there that will be. And to be honest, Netflix have done a lot of good stuff, so
Yeah.
there's every
I
chance that
played-
it might be decent.
I played a bit of a First Division and it was quite enjoyable, but I didn't play it all the way through, so I can't really comment on the story or anything like that.
How many divisions are there on now?
2.
Oh, it's just 2.
Yeah.
Right, I thought it was more than that. I thought it was one of them where it's like... Because it's Tom Clancy, and... Funny fact, I still to this day don't actually know who Tom Clancy is. I'm guessing he's some sort of... Who is he?
So he...
Is he a novelist?
Yeah,
Yeah, he wrote...
well, he's passed away now, but he was an author. He wrote the Jack Ryan series.
He was the one who wrote Jack Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So,
oh,
you know,
wait,
like,
Jack Ryan is... yes, yeah. So, Harrison Ford...
Harrison Ford played him
Chris
back
Pine,
in the 90s.
John Krasinski is the most recent one, which was an excellent
Yeah.
Series, by
Ben
the way.
Affleck.
Which one did Ben Affleck play him in?
Some of All Fears with Morgan Freeman as well.
Morgan Freeman as well.
It was okay.
Yeah. Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay. Haven't seen that. Ah, right, there you go.
So
I
yeah,
don't know why. I've always known the name. I thought he was a novelist, but I was like, I don't really actually know that much, to be fair. So there you go. You learn something every day, don't you?
so yeah, the Division film is starring Jessica Chastain and Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm sold.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's also
That's enough to sell it for me.
it's also directed by David Leitch, who directed Deadpool 2.
Yep.
So we've got a bit of talent on screen and off screen. So
Yeah. So
hopefully,
that's got a lot of the right formulas in place to be pretty decent. That so.
hopefully we'll get our first good video game adaptation. And to think of it being The Division is a bit of a weird
That
choice.
is a bit of a weird one, yeah. We've got a few again coming out. Obviously, we talked about this at great length in one of our previous podcasts. Go back and listen to it. It's awesome.
Yep.
Be the best hour or so of your life.
So should we just do a recap on every episode like I mentioned in the last one?
Maybe
Maybe not.
But yeah, because we obviously now got... So that's The Division and the Tom Holland
Uncharted.
coming out in the next couple of years. So
And we've also got Tom Hardy's Splinter Cell that was announced a long time ago, but
okay, it's whether we're actually going to end up getting that or whatever.
I think he'd be good for the role of Sam Fisher, but I don't think it's a
Never
film we
played
need.
any of the Splinter Cell games, to be honest with you. In case you can't tell, I don't really play a lot of games.
No.
Not a massive gamer, but when I do, I get quite into them. Although I still haven't finished Red Dead.
I mean, Red Dead was good, but it was just long.
Yeah, but I was really enjoying it, and then just randomly stopped playing it, like I do with all my games.
Yeah.
Like I'm really enjoying this. One day I just stop for no discernible reason whatsoever.
I have a thing of like playing too many games at one time, and then I just focus on one and stop playing the others.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have that problem, to be fair. A lot of gamers do, don't they?
Yeah.
And they always go back to the one that's comfortable for them. So for some people, it's just Skyrim. They'll just go back to Skyrim all the time. It's like default mode.
Yeah.
And then some people, it's like, Fallout.
Yeah.
So it's not just a crap one like what I was. Oh, I can't be arsed actually paying attention to this game. I'm just going to stick FIFA in for an hour. Yay. And then get pissed off with it all over again and be like, this game is shit. Why do I bother playing this game?
They showed a trailer off for FIFA 20, and
It's the exact same game. They've just updated the transfers.
it also
Yay.
included a glitch.
Did it?
Yeah.
What glitch?
It had a player's arm going through his leg.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Pretty good to include that in the trailer.
Yeah.
At least they're showing us the final release that we're getting.
Well, it's always been glitchy as
A
FIFA.
glitchy mess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of like you. I don't really play games that much anymore.
Adult life. Yay.
I don't know if I'm changing or just stuff that's coming out is less interesting.
I think there's a lot of
Cause
crap to wade through nowadays, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like because it's become such a big part of culture.
Yeah.
As gaming. I think it's just, you have to really search for the hidden gems. That's why it's quite refreshing when the big ones do come out, like your Red Deads, like when Last of Us first came out and other stuff like that. Couldn't be asked thinking beyond those two, apparently, but yeah, there is a lot out. Like you see, just even when you just go to the cinema and they have like the standard, oh, this game's coming out on Xbox, or this game's coming out on PS4 advert before you see the film. It's just like, I'm pretty sure that game's been coming out for 8 years now, but it's like, oh no, it's a different game every time. They just all look the exact same.
Yeah, it kind of is going that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's such a big industry, so obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff out there. But yeah, it was E3 last week, and I don't think there was any real announcements that shocked me.
No.
I'm quite excited for Final Fantasy VII, the remake. They showed off gameplay of it, and it looked quite good, actually.
Yeah,
I've never been one for JRPGs as well.
No, I haven't either. I have a special place in my old dead cold heart for Final Fantasy VIII, but it's more a nostalgia thing. Like, I tried to go back again and play it as an adult, but it's because they're so long. They take up so much time. You have to do so much like EXP building for the characters to be able to actually get to the end of the game and complete it. And it's just like, it's just not worth my time as an adult anymore. As much as I love it and I do have nostalgia for it, nowadays I'm just wanting when I play a game, just something fairly simple. That's why I'm really looking forward to the Crash Team Racing remaster, because I fucking love that game. Yeah.
Okay.
That's coming out soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they are bringing out a Final Fantasy VIII remaster as well.
God damn it.
So you're gonna have to.
I'm gonna have to. I thought they'd only do 7 because it was the most popular one.
So they're remaking Final Fantasy VII, but remastering V8.
Oh, they're remaking Final Fantasy. I thought it was just a remaster.
No.
Oh, right.
Complete remake from the ground up.
Oh, what's the point?
Because
surely people will kick off if they change any of it, so it should just be a remaster.
Because fans want a remake of it. It's kind of like the Resident Evil remakes.
Oh, yeah. But again, they got slated, didn't they?
No,
they did.
Really good reviews.
Yeah.
The remakes did, yeah.
Shows how much keep up with gaming. But they're doing a remaster of 8.
Yeah.
For God's sake, I'm going to have to buy that, aren't I? Well, I probably actually have to get a PlayStation for that, unless they do it all multi-platform now.
I'm not too sure, if I'm honest.
Like, because they did that with Spyro and Crash Bandicoot remasters.
Yeah, like, those games are so big that it takes a lot of grinding, and not in the good way.
That's better. I like that one, yeah.
I was just waiting to get that joke in there. For the past 10 minutes, I've been like, can I say it?
It's all about the timing, man. Yeah.
And now I've kind of ruined the joke by saying that.
So you got to explaining, well, this was my thought process behind the joke. Yeah, but that was pretty much it from E3. The big thing was Cyberpunk, and to be honest, I'm not even... I mean, obviously the developers, it was the ones who did Witcher, wasn't it? Yeah. So that was a big deal, but I don't think, call me a cynical bastard, but I don't think it would have got anywhere near the traction if it didn't have Keanu featuring in it. I think it obviously, for the gaming community, it would have been quite big based on the developers, but...
So last year they showed off gameplay of it as well, and that got really good buzz behind it. So I think...
But again, like I say...
It's probably coming off for Witcher.
I mean for non-gamers, like, even non-gamers have sort of gone, oh, mint, because Keanu Reeves is in it. It's, for the gaming community, but yeah.
I bought a PlayStation Classic this week.
Wow, was that the one with, like, a set amount of games on it?
Yeah, because it was on sale for 35 quid on the PlayStation Gear store, and it came as, like, a bundle, so you got a load of other things with it. But I've also ordered, like, it's a USB stick with a load of games preloaded.
Ah, nice.
So now I can go back and play Dino Crisis.
Yes. I still have my PS2 somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I've still got a lot of PS2 games down there. Crash Team Racing, the first 2 Spyros, Final Fantasy VIII, which I think is actually worth a bit of money, but who knows?
Pop that into CEX.
Yep.
Into Sex Shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
right.
We'll move on from E3.
Yeah, we'll move on from the gaming section of our film and TV podcast. That was fun for you all, eh?
I mean, really, it's just a pop culture podcast at this point.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But prefer our film and TV, So, on the news of film and television,
we'll start with A Quiet Place 2.
Yes.
It's going to focus more on the aliens' origins.
Yes.
And other survivors. I don't think we need a sequel to
I don't think we need a sequel to it either. I agree with you there. The film was good enough as a standalone kind of horror flick, but it made a lot of money, and that's what executives do nowadays, don't they? They go, well, who cares about the integrity of the creation? Let's just get cash!
Yeah, because
but John Krasinski's back on board to direct the second one again, so you never know. Good old Jim Halpert.
Yeah, I've got a lot of faith in him as a director now.
Yeah,
I've seen the first one because I thought the first one was really good. But when we went to go see it, I was kind of like, it's a perfect film on its own. It doesn't need a sequel, but it's in an industry that's surrounded by sequels now.
Yeah.
What coming out in the future that's already been announced is a sequel, and what isn't? Because most are sequels at this point.
Most, yeah. I mean, the vast majority of stuff we get are sequels, or origins, or prequels, or it's connected to an already established kind of universe.
Which I don't mind, but...
No. It's good to continue these things, and obviously with the growth of television in the last couple of years as well, it kind of makes more sense to do world building all around. But some films, like you say, just don't need it, and I think A Quiet Place is one of them. But having said that, obviously a lot of comparisons between A Quiet Place and Cloverfield were drawn, not only because originally the first A Quiet Place script was set within the same universe as the Cloverfield universe, but at the time of watching Cloverfield, when that all came out, again, I thought the same thing. That's kind of standalone. We don't need any more of that.
Yeah.
And then we got 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was excellent. So it could... it could surprise us, and it could be really, really good.
Never actually seen Cloverfield or the sequels.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, Cloverfield is brilliant. 10 Cloverfield Lane is amazing, and John Goodman is a national treasure, even for our nation, even though he's not English. I don't care. I'm declaring John Goodman an English national treasure.
He's ours now.
And then there was Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
Which was the third one, which... it's not great. It's not terrible, but...
Is that one set in space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, crappily tied in.
Right.
It literally, yeah. It basically, they sold it on the title.
Yeah.
And because it was a Netflix special that just came out like that.
I saw a clip from it, and it was like, there was an arm just moving around on its own.
Yeah, because it's Chris O'Dowd, is that his name from the IT Crowd?
Okay, yeah.
That's his name, isn't it? Yeah, he's in it. He's done all right for himself, hasn't he, really?
Seems like a weird choice. He's
got quite a few roles in Hollywood over the past few years, haven't he? So yeah.
He was in a Marvel film, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Thor 2, The Dark World. I think he was Jane's date in a scene.
Yeah. It was a small role, but admittedly.
Yeah.
But it
got a nice pay packet from it, I'm sure.
Still good for him,
yeah. That was his arm in Cloverfield Paradox.
Right.
Yeah. But no, definitely watch the first two.
Yeah.
And even watch the third. But because I think Overlord was also meant to be set in the Cloverfield...
the Nazi zombies?
Yeah, that was meant to be set in the universe, but again, I think they changed that just to make it standalone, which was also an excellent film. I've
also not seen that.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
But that wouldn't make sense, I don't think.
I don't know how they were going to tie it in. I honestly don't know how, but yeah, that was the plan originally, but obviously they changed it.
Okay. That seems... Yeah, that's strange.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on to the next bit of news.
Yes.
Samuel L. Jackson has said he wants another shot at Mace Windu. Thoughts?
He
was quoted saying, "Jedis can fall from incredible heights, not die like cats."
Like cats. That is a Samuel L. Jackson thing to say if ever I heard one.
Mother Fluken!
Oh my god. Like cats. Mace Windu. Flurkin. Team up movie. There you go. That's what it needs to be.
Crossover.
Yes. Nick Fury and Mace Windu just sort of looking at each other like that Spider-Man meme. Like wait a minute. I'm Samuel L. Jackson. No, I'm Samuel L. Jackson. But anyway. No, again, I like Sam Jackson. I love Sam Jackson. I love the character of Mace Windu, but it's not necessary.
It really isn't, though.
And I hope Disney don't fall into the same trap again like they did with Solo.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think any of the anthology films were necessary.
No, not really.
No.
Rogue One wasn't. They're the only two we've had so far.
Rogue One was story filler, and Solo was just pointless in every aspect.
Yeah.
Even though I wouldn't say it's the worst Star Wars film, it wasn't great.
I would say it's the worst Star Wars film, but it's entertaining if you don't really invest yourself into the movie. Like, if you know what I mean by that. I can't really explain that any better, because it's just like, it's not, you don't have to switch your brain off for it, but if you, like,
it's a popcorn flick.
Yeah. A lot of diehard Star Wars fans are just like, I think we said before, they're very black or white about, you know, you have to either hate it with everything you have, or you have to love it with everything you have.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's one of them, like, it's not great, but at least it's entertaining.
It's watchable.
Yeah, it's watchable.
Yeah.
But I think that's the same for all the Star Wars films. Even when they've, you know, some of them which have their deep flaws, which a lot of them do, they're still at the very least entertaining and watchable, and the universe is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 1 and 2 were misfires for me.
Definitely misfires, I'm not disputing that, but you can at least go back and watch them.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't sit there going, oh, well, I've just wasted that amount of time of my life. You don't. Like,
I mean, there's certain scenes...
Certain people do that, but it seems to me, it's controversial, but... Also, I'm right. The people who do that with the Star Wars films, they want to do it to appear edgy and cool. I don't like this, therefore I'm cool. And it's like, not really. Don't have to out and out hate something just because it doesn't meet your expectations.
Yeah, like I'd say I wasn't a fan of episode 1, but the fight at the end...
Yeah, has its redeeming qualities,
yeah.
When you think about episode 1, it's mainly just Jar Jar and the racial stereotypes that he threw into it, which have really, really laid it down. Yeah. You know which ones I mean. Yeah. I'm not going to do them, but
please don't.
I'll just say Viceroy Gunray, that's all.
Viceroy Gunray, Greedo,
forgot about Greedo. Yeah. Jesus
Christ.
Got Watto, the worst one. Wait, which one's Greedo? No, not Greedo. You meant Watto.
I was thinking Watto.
Yeah, Watto. I was say Greedo was A New Hope.
Because hand shot first.
Mm-hmm. Hand did shoot first. But yeah, Mace Windu, I don't think it's a necessary film.
No, but if they were to do it, how would you like to see it?
See, if they were to do it, I wouldn't want to see him survive in the fall, because I just don't think it'd make any sense.
I'd kind of like to see it between the events of 3 and 4. Kind of like he's on the run from Order 66.
But again, it doesn't make sense to me, because it's just like, they kind of fall into a trap with that sort of stuff, where it's like, oh, these characters survived. That's why the end of Rogue One was actually one of the best parts about it, because they knew those characters couldn't survive. Otherwise, they'd be like, well, where could they possibly go? What? And then why aren't they in the rest of the films? Like, it was, especially for someone as powerful and significant as Mace Windu, he would pop back up again. So to me, it would have to be a kind of origin for him.
Maybe he did, and Darth Vader just killed him.
Yeah, but
you never know.
You never know, but I don't. Again, I mean, what's the point? What's the point in then showing that?
If I did that, it couldn't end with Mace Windu surviving.
No, not at all. It would have to be,
unless Rey's a descendant of Mace Windu. Oh my god!
Maybe that's why the Emperor's laughing in the trailer for Rise of Skywalker.
I mean,
that doesn't make any sense.
No. We're definitely reaching here.
Yeah. See, and this is what I mean. I mean, there's no actual plans for it, is it? Also, it's just Samuel L. Jackson said, he'd like to do it again if the opportunity arose. But
also, why am I saying Rey's a descendant? Finn would be more likely to be a descendant of Mace Windu.
That's not how. I mean, more likely, yes, but genetics don't work that way.
Well, no, but
Rey could still be a descendant.
I'm just saying.
Genetics are very strange things, Josh. Let's not get dragged into a racial debate, okay?
Okay, so moving on.
Yes. So, I think unnecessary. Don't do it. Samuel L. Jackson, you've got many, many more roles you could get into, which would be thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyable anyway, as much as we love Mace. Unless they did do it as a prequel and they used Disney's de-aging technology again, because that looks great, except when he moves.
I mean, I think that'd be too much money.
Yeah.
It'd cost too much. So
but it's not like Disney don't have that kind of money to do that. They have been doing it.
True, and considering the box office figures for Endgame, they probably could justify it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it would be in serious danger of just becoming another Star Wars flop, and I think they really need to hit. I think the Rise of Skywalker doesn't really matter because that's going to make money no matter what. But I think after that, they have to really hit something out of the park when it comes to Star Wars. Otherwise, they're in danger of it just terminating. And by terminating, I don't mean the definition of terminating. I mean going down the route of the Terminator franchise and just slowly crawling along like some weird radiated baby that's been born out of the Chernobyl disaster, just crawling along going, why won't you let me die? and yeah.
Okay.
That's some lovely imagery for you there.
Although I completely agree with you, because I think Dark Fate looks terrible.
Which one's Dark Fate?
The new Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kill
that franchise, to be honest.
They killed it a long time ago, so just end it.
Unless you do a film set in the future.
I just think it's dead. I think Terminator's dead. I don't think it was made to last.
I think maybe another TV series they could do.
I never watched any of the TV series.
But just don't make it about any characters we already know.
I kind of ran out of faith with it after Salvation.
I didn't mind Salvation.
It wasn't awful, but it wasn't anything new or refreshing.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
And the bad CGI Arnie was
and
pretty
the
terrible.
bad acting.
And the fact that, Christian Bale can get a new heart transplant in the middle of a fucking desert.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Sterilised?
Well, he can do
Nope.
anything when he's trying to fight lighting technicians.
Yeah, he can mend his own back by getting it punched.
Yeah. Right, what's next?
To be honest, it's been a bit of a...
It has been a bit of a slow one.
Slow week.
We do have... there was a kind of rumour that came out about the Phase 4 of Marvel. Obviously, Spider-Man Far From Home is actually serving as the end of Phase 3, isn't it? Because a lot of people were sort of confusing it as being the beginning of Phase 4, which it isn't. It's the end of Phase 3.
I thought it was the start of Phase 4, if I'm honest. Yeah.
We've already got a couple that were announced before Infinity War came out, which was Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2. We had Guardians 3.
Black Widow.
We had Guardians 3, but then that was on and off for a bit, obviously with the James Gunn controversy. He's now back involved, and so we're definitely getting that, and we're hoping it's as Guardians of the Galaxy. But we've also had the rumours that came out earlier on in the week that we might be getting a Thor 4. Thor 4. Which is, weirdly, even though it's just two words, it's a bit of a tongue twister. Thor 4. Ant-Man 3. And it says here, Captain Marvel 2, New Avengers, Young Avengers, and Dark Avengers.
I think that's too many different Avengers we're getting.
Yeah. So I don't think all of those Avengers ones will be true. It might even none of them be true. But I kind of want to focus on the Thor 4 at the minute, because Hemsworth has said he's happy to be involved in it again because he's had a new lease of life breathed into the character. He says, because he was talking about when he was doing Fat Thor from Avengers Endgame, he says it's the most fun he's ever had actually playing the character, which is so strange.
I mean, so if he's in as Guardians of the Galaxy, he's still going to be Fat Thor, probably.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I actually did have a discussion with my cousin yesterday about as Guardians of the Galaxy, and we said obviously it's not going to happen, but how ballsy would it be if it was actually found footage and it's just Thor documenting what he's doing with the Guardians just in the background, although that could be sort of like a little one-shot thing in the build-up to the actual movie.
Or it's just Star-Lord filming him, just trying to catch him out on things.
Yeah. I just had this vision of Thor just like the Guardians are off fighting, and Thor knows he's just far too powerful and he could just finish them in a couple of seconds, so he's not really that bothered, and he's just there filming and he's just like, oh look, yep, here are all my friends, they're fighting over there, there's my friend the tree, and there's just Groot in the background just bashing a load of people to death, and he's like, it's actually quite an angry tree. But he's still my friend. There's the rabbit over there. there's the man who thinks he's the leader. He's not the leader. It's me. It's definitely me.
I can imagine him just in the middle of a battleground, just like tucking into like a burger or something. Just like, okay, I'll let you guys fight him, I'll,
I actually didn't know they did shawarma in space. My good friend Tony Stark loved his shawarma. I'm sorry, guys. I just think that'd be brilliant. Yeah, like I say, even as just a one shot, because we know Hemsworth likes doing his sort of little silly things like that in his one shots, doesn't he? Like obviously did the ones before Ragnarok, and
he's also a great comedy actor. Because he's in Men in Black International as well.
Yes, which I might also go see this week. Apparently, it's not very good. But I think it might be one of them. It's just a fun time, like that would be like a almost switch your brain off and enjoy the spectacle kind of thing.
It's Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, so. Exactly. They've already proved they've got great on-screen chemistry. So I still think we need our our Korg and Meek sitcom.
Yep, absolutely.
Just Korg and Meek. Just call it Friends.
Maybe just a bunch of series of one shots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, just a Korg and Meek sitcom, like 20-minute episodes, 6 episodes, and it's literally just them trying to get to grips with doing earthly things in Norway, where Asgard 2 is.
Yeah.
How amazing would that be?
I mean, it sounds so much better than the stuff I've already announced.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
We don't need WandaVision.
No.
We don't need Bucky and Sam
God.
Wilson, Falcon and Winter Soldier, whatever it's called.
All right, that sounds pretty interesting, actually.
It sounds interesting, but I don't think we need it.
No, we don't need it, but if it takes place after Endgame, then it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Seeing Sam take up the mantle of Captain America. So I'm quite interested in that.
But going back to Thor 4...
I don't think we need it.
Do you not?
I mean, if we're getting him in as Guardians of the Galaxy, or Guardians of the Galaxy 3, whatever we want to call it, I think we'd just risk getting too much for.
I suppose I can see where you're coming from there, but the popularity he's garnered since Ragnarok and Infinity War, he literally became everybody's favourite Avenger, almost. And I just think that they're sort of latched onto that and have gone, people want him, Hemsworth's happy to do it. He's charismatic enough to be able to carry these films by himself, so I really do think we need Thor 4. But only if Taika Waititi's back to direct. Because it's just almost a shame that we didn't get Taika Waititi all the way through. Because just imagine how wacky those first 2 films would have been.
I'll be honest, I'm not really excited for the upcoming MCU, because after Endgame, it's kind of...
It depends how they do it.
Yeah.
I think with them ending it on Far From Home, I think they've obviously got something planned that's going to come out of that film. You see in one of the trailers him talking about how the snaps tore up.
It's created the multiverse, essentially.
But it's also kind of, has it? Or is that just Mysterio fucking about because he's a bit of a trickster? Someone who I was talking to about it also made the very good point when it comes to Far From Home. They hope that Mysterio isn't just a throwaway villain, because Gyllenhaal's far too good to just be, he's just in this film and then that's him done. I definitely agree with that. He's a great actor.
Phenomenal actor.
He's become one of probably the best in the world at the moment. Like I definitely say he's up there, and I think it is absolutely right that.
Well, I've not seen the film. I've seen like some of his performance from like Prisoner.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant in that. Have you seen
Enemy as well?
Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler's brilliant. Pretty much everything I've seen him in recently, I've really enjoyed. So yeah, he's definitely one of those. I think he could definitely carry a few more.
Yeah, speaking of branching off from Endgame and I suppose Spider-Man as well,
mm-hmm.
There was some leaked set photos from the Black Widow movie.
Oh, right. I haven't actually seen these.
And it looks to take place after Endgame.
That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe it does spin out of Spider-Man, like multiverse kind of thing.
It's quite possible, yeah.
Hawkeye dies instead.
yeah.
Because there was also set photos from a scene that was at a funeral as well. Black Widow was there.
Right.
So someone else has died instead.
Quite possibly, yeah. It'd be interesting anyway. I think what they have to do is they really have to be careful if they do go down the multiverse route. It's not a case of don't do it. It's they've just got to establish certain rules. Otherwise, because they can't just have, oh yeah, these are all back now again. But then again, they kind of can go down that route because Loki escaped. And therefore, yes, they've gone and put a lot of the stones back to bring all the diverging timelines back into one. But also there is still that big one,
that branching path where Loki's
which
still
then
alive,
could branch off loads more. So again, I think they have to be careful with how they do it, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah. Also, another thing that came from this week, Endgame related, you can rent Tony Stark's cabin on Airbnb.
Yes, yeah.
So when are we going?
Well, I'm in America in a month or so.
I mean, I'm not.
But it's like $300 a night, isn't it, or something?
$800 a night.
Yeah, I don't have that. That'll pretty much be my spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe give that one a miss then.
Yeah.
But if any of you listeners are interested, you can rent Tony Stark's cabin.
Mm-hmm. From Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
$800 a night in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. So this next one is kind of film and TV related. I say
yes.
Kind of.
Go on.
So,
is this the...
Yeah.
Yay!
So, on Twitter, Justin Bieber recently challenged Tom Cruise to a fight.
Yep.
In the Octagon.
Mm-hmm. Some of the best news ever.
Yeah. So...
You gotta love Twitter sometimes, don't you?
There was this thing that was challenge an actor 31 years older than you to a fight. And we've come up with a few ideas, contenders that we'd fight with. But I also want to say Bob Mortimer challenged Anton Deck to a fight.
But how old is Bob Mortimer and how old are I'm pretty sure...
There's definitely not a 31-year-old
No, there's not 31 years old. Not a 31-year gap between them. And isn't Bob Mortimer older than Anton Deck?
Yeah.
Right.
But I just think Bob Mortimer wants a fight.
Think of the logistics, Bob.
He just wants a fight.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
But the Justin Bieber and Tom Cruise one is just excellent. And Tom Cruise is winning that every day of the week.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So challenge an actor 31 years your elder. So I've got some brilliant ones.
I've got some good ones
on mine.
as well.
So I've got a bit of a list here. So I'm 27 years old. So that means I have to go for 58-year-olds. If my maths is correct, which I'm pretty sure it is. That'd be embarrassing if it's wrong. Basic maths. Can't be asked with that anymore. So I've got number 1, George Clooney.
Oh, no way.
The best Batman himself.
Absolutely. Bat nipples.
I mean, I wouldn't want to fight full Clooney. I just want to fight his bat nipples. That's all I want to do. I'm just going to go to town on those things. That sounds wrong.
Wow.
But oh so right. I've got RuPaul.
Okay.
Don't want to challenge RuPaul. I think I'd get my eyes scratched out. I've got Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Which is a fantastic one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to make a dark joke here, so I'm very sorry if you get offended by dark humour, fellow listeners, but I've got Michael J. Fox.
I can tell where this is going, I think.
I'm pretty sure he'd be able to move a lot better than I could. Move a lot faster. I'm going to move on from that one. I've got Boy George.
Boy George.
Boy George. Here's the one I definitely want to fight because I hate him. I hate him with a passion. He's not an actor, to be fair, but some of these I've said aren't actually actors either. Boy George isn't an actor. But I've got Diego Maradona, the Argentinian footballer. You know that famous picture of him handballing the ball into the net against England and knocking us out of the World Cup, the hand of God, as he called it. No, it's more the hand of the cheating cunt. I hate Diego Maradona, but I definitely want him tested for drugs before we fought him because, let's face it, he'd be off his tits on cocaine. The prick. Anyway, I've got Susan Boyle.
Kick your ass.
Antonio Banderas, Colin Firth, Hugh Grant, Julianne Moore, Robert Carlyle,
Nice.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, he would kick your ass.
Sean Penn. I mean, he'd tie me to a chair and beat me with a baseball bat, but
you'd be into it.
I think you missed the joke there, Josh. I've got Gary Lineker, Tilda Swinton, Stanley Tucci. God, there's loads. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I mean, you don't have to go through the whole
I'm going
list.
through a load of these because they're so good. Carol Vorderman. Carol Vorderman. David Duchovny. Yeah, so I think out of all of those, the ones I definitely want to fight Diego Maradona. Without a doubt. I definitely want to fight Diego Maradona. I'd probably say the person I least want to fight out of all those would probably be...
It's got to be Van Damme.
No, I'd fight Van Damme. Just to say I fought Van Damme. I'd get my ass kicked, but I'd fight him. Worth it. The one I probably least want to fight, I'm going to go with Robert Carlyle. Because I get the feeling that Robert Carlyle he'd not only enjoy killing me, but he'd enjoy killing me slowly and in the most painful ways that he could imagine. And I probably couldn't imagine the ways that he would kill me slowly.
I'd imagine he's quite a nice person.
I can imagine he's a very nice person, but I think he's got that edge to him, that sadistic, horrible edge, because he's a Scotsman.
So, now onto my list.
Yeah! So go on, who have you got?
So, I am 24 years old, so I'm going for 55. To kick things off, I have Michelle Obama. The First Lady herself. Ex-First Lady.
Ex-First Lady, yeah. Although they still get called First Lady.
Yeah. So, Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama.
Just imagine that on the news.
24-year-old man arrested for attempting to assault Michelle Obama and getting the shit kicked out of him.
It'd probably be at one of her speeches or something. Yeah. And I just come in there, just try and smack her in the face, and then just get my ass handed to me by security.
Or maybe just Michelle Obama herself. Yeah. Literally, you go to punch her and she just doesn't even flinch and she just blocks the punch without looking at you. Just slowly turns her head towards you and you're like, this is how I die. Excellent.
At least it made for weekly news.
Yeah.
So, Brad Pitt. I mean, after Fight Club, I don't know if I really want to go up against him, but, you know.
50, Brad Pitt is 55 years old and he looks younger than us. Life is not fair.
Yeah, but yeah, it'd probably be all in my mind anyway, so I'd just be fighting myself.
It's true. Yeah.
Lisa Kudrow.
Well, she used to live on the streets. She's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it was just Phoebe, but...
So if that friend theory is to be true, and she's actually a homeless person, and it's all in her imagination, I would be shitting myself. Because she would kick the fuck out of me.
Well, she assaulted Ross.
We've got Nicolas Cage.
Oh, you do not want to fight Nick Cage.
For Man's Crazy.
Man's crazy.
I'm a cat! I'm a sexy cat! Not for bees! Yeah, just set some bees on him.
It wasn't an awful impression, that. Yeah, set some bees on him. Just showing pictures of him in the Superman suit.
Oh, God.
Just Josh. Just make sure you put that bunny back in the box. Put the bunny back in the box.
So moving on. Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe. See, I can't picture Rob Lowe in anything now but Parks and Rec as Chris Traeger.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah. He just,
and Perkins.
You'd go to fight him, he'd be like, Josh Simpson.
You're like, shit, I can't fight you. Too nice. Jeff Bezos.
Really?
Just imagine the payout on that fight.
Yep, that would be excellent.
The man's the richest man in the world.
He is, isn't he? Yeah, he was the first person to pass 100 billion net worth or personal wealth. I can't remember whether it's net worth or personal wealth, but so 100 billion.
It came up on my Facebook earlier.
I'll happily take 1% of that.
And he divorced his wife, and she got a third of it. So she got like 35 billion. Yeah.
Oh my God, I could only dream of that cash.
I know, right?
Oh my God.
I was on Facebook earlier and it came up with a graph of the most richest people in the world.
I saw this earlier, yeah.
It took him less than 2 years to make it on that graph and become the richest man in the world.
Yep.
It's probably because he's got slaves working for him in those Amazon warehouses, but...
But still, if you could do it, you would.
Come
on, that kind of cash. I don't care. I'd sell out for that. Like I say, I'd happily take 1% of his wealth. That'd set me up for life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that because I watched that this morning as well. I just loved it how it was just Bill Gates on the top. Every now and then he'd drop to second or third and then go back to the top. And then just all of a sudden Jeff Bezos just goes...
Yeah.
But Bill Gates just gives an alarming amount to charity, doesn't he? Also, how much would Bill Gates be worth if he wasn't giving as much? Because he gives billions upon billions per year, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he would have hit 100 billion a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd just fight him for a payout.
Yeah,
just imagine that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even if it is 1%. Oh my God, Jeff Bezos, if you're listening to this. I want to fight you.
That's the funny thing. Like nowadays, it says for a human being to be set for life, never have to work again, you need around £2 to £3 million. That is pocket change to him. Yeah. He could literally take £2 million out of his bank account, burn it, and it wouldn't affect him or his life in any way, shape, or form. That is insanity.
It's mental, yeah.
It's absolutely... And because there's that funny statistic, isn't there, about if the wealthiest people on the earth donated 1% of their wage, of their wealth at the same time, then literally poverty would cease to exist or something daft like that. It's something daft like that, but how insane is that? And literally it wouldn't affect them at all.
So I've also got Matt Dillon.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
James Hetfield of Metallica. Metallica's like one of my favourite bands, so I don't think I could punch him, if I'm honest.
He could probably punch you.
I mean, he could, yeah.
Bit of a nutcase, isn't he?
Not really.
I thought he was.
No. I mean, he dealt a lot with alcoholism and stuff like that, but he's back on the right track these days.
Fair enough.
Lenny Kravitz. To be honest, I think he'd just gyrate on me, and I'd just be like, no, thank you.
Oh. Oh, you'd be like, yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Russell Crowe.
He would annihilate you.
I don't know.
Making movies, making songs, and fighting around the world.
Rob Schneider. I think I could take him.
Yeah, you could take. I think anybody could take Rob Schneider.
Yeah. Donnie Yen. I would be fucked.
You would be fucked.
Yeah. He's Ip Man, for God's sake.
Yep.
Lee Evans.
That'd been I would pay to see that fight, actually. I would pay to see you and Lee Evans. Well, he used to do boxing, actually, so...
Oh, did he?
I think, yeah, he did boxing as a kid.
I just think he'd sweat all over me and I'd just slip up or something.
Yep.
Andy Serkis.
He'd kick your ass.
I can imagine he's quite agile, considering he's like so short and stuff, yeah. David Cross.
Oh, yeah.
Hank Azaria.
As in...
Simpsons.
Yeah, Hank Azaria.
Azaria?
Yeah.
Azaria? I don't know. Greg Kinnear.
Right.
Mark Strong.
He's scary. Mark Strong would kick your ass.
He is.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'd like to see him as a Bond villain.
Yeah, it'd be good as a Bond villain.
Seems like that villainous type. French Stewart. Oh, God. This list just goes on and on. Yep.
Jimon Hounsou.
I think any of these guys would kick my ass.
I think this is just the what celebrities would kick our ass segment.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Except Rob Schneider.
Except Rod Schneider.
And I also want to say Michael Chiklis.
For me, Diego Maradona. For, who was the last one?
Michael Chiklis.
Which one's he again?
From The Shield.
Oh yeah. And the original, the first thing.
Yes. Yeah.
God. Yeah.
They would all beat the shit out of me at the same time. Let's make it a fair fight.
Well, what a fun segment. What a fun segment.
This is all going to get cut.
So now we're going to move on because we're going to talk about the X-Men franchise. Because if you don't know, the Dark Phoenix was released recently. Now, we both haven't had a chance to actually go and see it yet, but what we're going to do is after we've filmed this podcast, we are going to go and watch it. What we're going to do now is we're going to give our definitive, it's not definitive, we're going to give our rankings of
it's gonna change.
The X-Men franchises up until this point of all the films that have been released in that universe.
We're not including Deadpool.
We're not including Deadpool because for me, those two would automatically go to the number 1 and number 2 spot. You said you'd be a bit different, but they'd still be very high, so we're not going to do that. So yeah, these are our personal rankings of the X-Men films. Then we're going to go watch Dark Phoenix, and then we're going to hopefully put a little review up. But we've both got two possibly different rankings. We don't know each other's rankings for the X-Men films so far, but I think they're probably going to be quite similar.
I think the first few will be quite similar at least. Yeah.
And then it might get a little bit different. But I'll let you go first, Josh.
Okay. So far we have 9 X-Men films.
Yes, we do.
The absolute worst of that was X-Men Origins Wolverine, because it completely ruined the character of Deadpool. At number 8 we have X-Men Apocalypse, because I'll be honest, I can't remember anything from that film. It was just so forgettable. The final fight just felt like it was part of a video game.
Right.
And Oscar Isaac was just wasted. X-Men 3 at number 7.
Right.
It's just, I don't think anything more needs to be said on that, to be honest. It had a lot of problems. The whole San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge scene was quite interesting, where Magneto's just like moving it along, does what he does, doesn't he? The Wolverine at number 6. I've only seen it once, not that bothered about seeing it again. I just like the deleted scene where Wolverine receives his yellow suit.
Oh, the yellow suit, and they're on a plane or something, aren't they?
Yeah. I kind of wish they'd have kept that in, but it wouldn't have made sense for what came after that. The first X-Men at number 5. It was just a good way to start the franchise, I think. It was in a time where comic book movies were very popular, because before then, it came before Spider-Man, right?
We have the internet machines on our phones. It was after Blade.
Because it came out in 2000.
Yeah, and so it's before Spider-Man, because the first Spider-Man was 2002?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's just have a look here. So we've got Spider-Man 2002. I was right. Whoa! And so X-Men, the first X-Men film.
It was 2000.
It was 2000. 2000. Yeah. I
was right.
Hey! And then obviously, because X-Men was the first one after Blade. After Blade, the first one, because Blade 2 was 2002, same year as Spider-Man. Blade Trinity was 2004.
So it kind of came at a time where comic book movies weren't as popular, because it also came after Batman and Robin.
Yep.
So
they were 1998.
1998,
yeah.
And that kind of killed the comic book movie buzz for a bit.
Well done, Joel.
Cheers, Joel Kinnaman. not Kinnaman.
Schumacher! Didn't you do that last week?
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I like Joel Kinnaman as an actor as well.
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman's mint.
I don't know why I'm trying to blame him for Batman
God
and Robin.
Damn it, Joel Kinnaman! What have you done?
Batman.
So X-Men.
Yeah. First Class at number 4.
Right.
You said last week on the previous podcast, go back and listen to it if you haven't already, that you weren't a big fan of it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was rushed, yeah, but it was because it was a rushed schedule for the film as well. Days of Future Past at number 3. It's time travel, but it's done quite well, I think. And it's interesting to see like both sets of characters, old and young.
Yep.
X-Men 2 at number 2. Brian Cox's character
as William Stryker.
Yeah, is like one of the highlights of that film, I would say. Which means at number 1 we have Logan, and I don't think anything really needs to be said about how good that film was. And the performance that Hugh Jackman gave was just flawless.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
So I'm just thinking, we literally it's very similar, our rankings, but
I thought it
there's only one or two slightly out. So at the bottom, obviously, I had X-Men Origins, Origins, Wolverclaw. It was just so bad, just the best part about that film, and I think everybody thinks this, is the opening credit bit where it's Wolverine and Sabretooth going through all of the different wars. Everybody is like, that scene is amazing, and the rest of the film is just awful. You're right about how they ruined Deadpool, the silliness of what they did to Kevin Durand, the Blob. Will.i.am is inexplicably there. Be it just why. It just makes no sense whatsoever, like the terrible CGI.
Yeah, what's his name that played Gambit as well? Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, see, a lot of people actually put him down as one of the better parts of it. I just thought that the whole Gambit thing was quite forgettable, to be honest.
So they were planning a Gambit spin-off film with
Channing Tatum. Yeah. That's been shelved now.
Obviously with Disney buying Fox as well, yeah.
But yeah, no, that film was just dire. And to say how good of a character Wolverine is, and I know they couldn't exactly go full on. Well, they could, but not at the time that it was released. They couldn't exactly go full on R-rated or anything, but they really doubled down on the PG with it. It was really bad. They could have at least, like, X-Men 1 and X-Men 2 did it really well. They sort of towed the line with the violence and not quite having the gore.
Let's just say the Merc with a mouth, removing his mouth.
Yeah, silly. Silly. So then at number 8, I had X3, The Last Stand. It's not a very good film. It's all over the place. It's got, again, some horrendous de-aging CGI, which again, for the time, the technology wasn't quite there for it, but also it's really disconcerting. It's got terrible dialogue. A lot of characters are in it which just make no impact on the story whatsoever.
You see, I rate it higher than X-Men Apocalypse because I remember it. At least I remember the film.
See, I suppose that's, I guess you kind of, that kind of makes sense as to why you've ranked it that way. I remember bits. I've got Apocalypse next.
And there were some scenes in it that I kind of enjoyed, like
the San Francisco bit. Although I did
the post-credit scene as well.
Watch an interesting video from Mr. Sunday Movies, I think it was, the other day when they were talking about X3, and they were like, the line, Charles always wanted to build bridges, whilst you sat there going, oh, what a good line. It makes no sense. He's not building a bridge. He's destroying a bridge and just dumping it down on an island. It makes no sense. Yeah, it was a production nightmare, wasn't it? So it kind of makes sense as to why it was not a great film. But
it's also Brett Ratner, so
yeah. And in the end, just like I say, it wasn't a great film. So yeah, then up at 7, I've got X-Men Apocalypse. No, I don't. I've got The Wolverine.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. It has a lot of interesting parts to it, but it was just very meh. And I'm sort of like what you are with Apocalypse for that film. Don't really remember much of it. It was just, a lot of it was very, very boring. I've only ever seen it the once, and I've just got no interest in seeing it again because I was like, it's just, there's not much to it.
Yeah, there's certain bits I remember, like Wolverine in Japan when the nuclear bomb went off.
Was that? See, I thought that was that is from that film. Yeah, it's just so generic, I just can't remember which bits it's actually from. Yeah, and then again you get to the end and it's just this CGI mess of a fight, and it's just not a very good film. Then I have Apocalypse.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you're right, it was kind of a dull affair. What's-his-face? Oscar Isaacs was very much wasted in it, but I think it gets points simply because of how good Michael Fassbender is. He just seems to carry those films. just almost by himself. Just whenever he's on screen, like that whole part with his family towards the beginning, that should have actually just been the movie.
I'll be honest, I feel like Fassbender's performance in Apocalypse was kind of dull.
No, see, I thought he was the only one that actually brought emotional range to the story. Like, the whole reason he does what he does in that film.
Like the scene with his family, yeah.
Yeah. And then everything he does beyond that is a product of his hurt and his pain that he's feeling. And that's the only real emotional weight. The rest of it is literally just, he's bad guy. We must stop bad guy. But he's actually got more dimensions to him. And that's why I sort of rate it a bit higher than the rest of them. Then I've got at number, where are we? 1, 2, 5, First Class.
Okay.
First Class is one of them. I really, really enjoyed it when I first saw it. And then every time I've watched it since, I've started to dislike it more and more and more. It's not a bad film. It's not a great film. It suffers for me in the dialogue. Like, a lot of people praise the dialogue of that film. I thought it's awful. It's truly awful.
Can't remember anything bad about it.
It's just a lot of... It's the bit where they're all showing off their powers to each other and they're just like, look, we decided to come up with your names in this random little bit. You should be called Professor X and you should be called Magneto. Aren't we cool? And it's like, and they just then decided to call themselves that from that throwaway line. Nah, crap. And then they've got the bit at the end, like I think I touched on last week, where they're like, oh, you're not G-Men anymore. You're, let me look at the camera, X-Men. Just such bad, terrible dialogue. The best part about that film is actually the cameo from Hugh Jackman.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best part about the film.
So, which says a lot. Team. Fuck off.
Yeah. That's literally...
I don't know, I quite enjoyed Kevin Bacon's character.
Kevin Bacon's characters was good.
Mainly because
they kind of waste Emma Frost, which I don't actually think is January Jones's fault. I just don't think they just sort of went, she's hot, let's put her in a skimpy outfit, that'll sell.
Yeah, true.
And it's like, I know Emma Frost's outfit in the comics is quite skimpy, and I've got no problems with seeing January Jones in a skimpy outfit, but put some dimension to a character, for God's sake. Yeah. She's a very, very big character in the comic books, so just to reduce her to
a bit of eye candy.
Really. Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool, bro. So yeah, that's where I got First Class. Number 4, I've then got X-Men, the first one.
Yeah.
Again, I agree with you at pretty much every point that you made. Just basically what you said on that one. Yeah. I don't really need to say much more. Then I have Days of Future Past at number 3.
Okay.
Again, pretty much everything that you've said. I'm not a massive time travel fan, but it was done quite well. Kind of, if I cared more, I would pick apart the whole ending, and it's like, so you've erased what happened because they weren't very good films. But then again, kind of let it off because, they weren't very good films. Yeah. It kind of, in a weird way, worked before they then ruined it in the next couple. But no, I actually remember I never went to see that film at the cinema. I'd kind of gotten a bit disillusioned with a lot of the X-Men films from that point on. I just stopped going to see them. But then I think someone lent me the Blu-ray when it came out, and I just put it in, and I just remember going, well, that's I haven't enjoyed watching a film that much in quite a long time. Yeah, it's up there. Thinking back on it now, like, yeah, it's not, one of the best films ever, but it's thoroughly entertaining, and it's great stuff. Then at number 2, I've got X2. Pretty much it again.
Yeah, so our top 3 are...
Yeah, the reasons that you said. And then number 1, obviously, Logan. It is the best.
It's got to be Logan
film by a mile. Like you say, his Hugh Jackman's performance in it is incredible.
But you would rate the Deadpool films higher than that?
I would put Deadpool 2 at 2, and I would put Deadpool 1 at 1.
Okay.
I think they're both just as good as each other, so they're kind of joint first, but I think the first one just edges it because of basically what it did and how unprecedented it was to see that kind of stuff.
And also it took so long for that to be actually greenlit.
Absolutely, and it's like, when you wait so long for something, the payoff is rarely as what you want it to be, but this actually was.
Yeah.
So that's why I would have put them top.
It was at least like 10 years worth of work that went into that film.
But here's a funny thing, actually, just going back to it. I've actually only seen Logan once.
Oh, really?
Really, I've only seen it once. I went to see it at the cinema and I haven't watched it since, but I still rate it higher than the rest of them. Yeah, and I have seen all of the X-Men films, apart from, obviously, I just said Logan and Wolverine in... The Wolverine. I've seen them all at least twice.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a testament to how good Logan really was. I've only seen it the once, and it's the best by a mile.
If I had to include Deadpool into the ranking, I would probably put Deadpool 2 at number 2.
Right.
And Deadpool 1 at number 4.
What?
I really enjoyed X-Men 2.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, it's all
yeah.
subjective, isn't it? Yeah. But Deadpool 1, oh my word, it's amazing.
I wouldn't say it's on par with Deadpool 2 myself. I think Deadpool 2 was better in a lot of aspects, but yeah.
Yeah, fair. It's all subjective in it, but you're wrong. But yeah, so that was our X-Men rankings. Like I say, we're going to do a review of Dark Phoenix once we've seen it, which will be this week at some point.
Yep.
Probably on the same day that this gets uploaded. And then we'll tell you where Dark Phoenix ranks within our X-Men rankings, but
I'll be honest, I can't see it being very high.
No, not from the reviews that we've seen. And yeah, it's got a lot of hate and it's been slated, but you never know.
It makes me quite worried for New Mutant.
If we ever get that.
When we get that,
if we ever get it. It's rumoured that they just might pan it altogether, which would be a massive mistake.
At least just shove it on Netflix or something.
Yeah. But yeah, don't forget to look out for that on our YouTube channel. Yep. Go ahead and give us a subscribe and go watch our old videos and old podcasts and stuff. Yeah.
So before we
wrap up,
I'd just like to say that we have a giveaway on at the moment.
That we do.
We have 2 tickets going for York Unleashed Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
It's on August the 11th. All you need to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and maybe just like our social media pages just to stay up to date with it, because we'll be announcing the winner on July the 1st, and that'll be on our social medias.
Yep. So, head over to the YouTube channel, give us a subscribe, and you could be in with the chance to win the York Comic Con York Unleashed tickets.
Yep, and you might even get a chance to meet me. Woo!
Yeah, you won't meet me. I'm far too important doing important things in America, and by important things I mean eating all of the meat and getting drunk.
And buying Funko Pops.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yay! Right then, I think that's everything, isn't it?
Yep.
So, guys, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, give us a like, give us a subscribe, go listen to our old stuff, go watch our old YouTube videos, check out the social media channels that we've got going. Enjoy yourselves.
Yep.
Have a good time in whatever you're doing, and we will see you the next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.